Lewis at McLaren, so the race leader comes into the pits, the soft tyres come off, and what are they putting on? Another set of soft tyres, so that's all going fine. But the Ferrari of Massa also in, as is the Williams of Rosberg. Lewis gets away, and that looked like a fairly heavy fuel load, I must say. The fuel hose was on for a good 8 or 9 seconds.
Oh, look at the pit lane's closing. Hamilton has hit the back of Kimi Raikkonen. Presumably the red light was on, it's green now. I'd love to know whether it was red when Ferrari stopped, but Hamilton has smashed into the back of Raikkonen on their way out of the pit stop. Rosberg is trying to find a way through. Has he sustained any damage? And that is an unbelievable thing to happen in this Grand Prix. I said this was the most unpredictable race of the year. It always is. And can you believe it? Hamilton, who was on target, 6.8 seconds clear before this safety car, is now unstrapping his belts, and he's going to kick something very realise what was going on. Let's see if we can work it out.
Right, they're queuing. They've been queuing.
Kubica has jumped Hamilton first of all. Look at that.
He has. Look, they're both waiting for the red light, and Lewis comes steaming in, as does Rosberg, and loses his wing as well. And Kubica. Look, there's the red light. There's the red light waiting for them. They were doing the right thing, and those behind were not expecting it. That's because the pack of the field had not cleared the end of the pit lane, which is highly unusual here. We always feel that they seem to keep the red light on a long time, and Lewis is like, what was that? What are you doing?
It is. We have 66 laps ahead of us for this Spanish Grand Prix in 2016. And it's lights out and away we go. It was a super start from Nico Rosberg. Hamilton's got going as well, moves over to try and cut off his teammate, who now slips behind him a toe. Daniel Ricciardo in third already. It's Sebastian Vettel pressurising Max Verstappen down the inside. Round the outside goes Nico Rosberg into turn 1. Ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Then sets in Daniel Ricciardo. And then Sebastian Vettel ahead of Max Verstappen. Good start from Carlos Sainz. He's ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Round turn 3 we go. And it's Nico Rosberg, and Hamilton's onto the grass. And Hamilton's had a massive crash. And he's crashed into his teammate. The two Mercedes come together as Hamilton tried to pass on the inside, and he can cover his hands over his eyes, and he won't want to see that again. We have the safety car out here, but the two Silver Arrows have crashed on the opening lap. Hamilton takes out his teammate, and there will be a big inquiry behind closed doors into that.
He did that, so they're quite a long way apart. Also behind them, Vettel had a massive moment, so tremendous launch off the corner, and Rosberg went over to cover the line, but Hamilton was coming at him so fast that he effectively had only the grass to go to. But look at this. This is now they're quite a long way apart, but Lewis gets such a launch off the top of turn 3, and he's now up the inside, and I'm afraid Nico Rosberg has got to take every bit as much blame for that as Lewis Hamilton. If we need to see exactly where Hamilton's front wheel was, but if he was alongside, if his front wheel or his front wing was alongside Rosberg's front tyre, rear tyre, then he's entitled to...
Time to wait.
You've got to keep your foot off the brake as well, otherwise you could have problems.
Here we go then. 5 lights ahead of the drivers. It's lights out and away we go. That is a brilliant start from Maldonado. He's already passed Raikkonen, who's passed Kobayashi, was a bit sluggish. And there's Lewis Hamilton slewing into the wall. And oh dear, Roman Grosjean and Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton all coming to grief at La Source. And Alonso's hopes of a 24th point scoring consecutive finish dashed within 260 metres here in Belgium. Safety car is coming out. That looked a particularly nasty incident.
Yeah, but I think Kobayashi was very slow away. Maldonado definitely did jump the start, but he wasn't the man that caused the accident. It was Kobayashi not getting away, and then it was really all about Hamilton and Grosjean getting together and wiping the pack out. That's where the accident started.
Let's see it again. Maldonado in the middle. We're watching on the left-hand side here, Grosjean cutting across Lewis, then he just loses control. Grosjean going over Perez, and Fernando Alonso getting caught up in it.
Fernando would have landed very hard on the chassis, which of course he sits on the floor of. Here we go. So the two Saubers minding their own business and then get completely wiped out. That's a scary accident.
Well, you just don't know it's coming, do you? And it's suddenly coming over the top of you almost.
You brake and you grimace every time into that last horse hairpin at the start.
Now there goes Grosjean, touches Lewis Hamilton's left wheel. Oh, that is very expensive dodgems.
Lewis doing the sensible.
2 seconds for Hamilton in his pit stop, and I know they've changed the procedures at the pit stops, but we're not expecting times to be that much slower, maybe by a couple of tenths. Hamilton comes out onto the racetrack now, and is he going to be ahead of Lando Norris? That's the big key. No, he's not. And there's Max Verstappen right behind Hamilton into the first chicane. Once again, it's wheel to wheel. Hamilton and Verstappen, and this time Verstappen and Hamilton have crashed out, and they are both out. As Hamilton came from his pit stop, rejoined the racetrack, Lando Norris was ahead, and in their desperation to stay ahead and to get ahead, the two championship protagonists have taken each other out of the Italian Grand Prix. Cheeky in the second part.
Max hasn't done anything wrong there. It was fair enough to go around the outside. Lewis can't cross over until the white line finishes. Max's car hit the rollover hoop of Lewis's car.
Yeah.
That's where the damage has come from.
He hits the sausage curb as well. That's what throws him back into the path of Lewis and then up into the air when his car makes contact with the Mercedes.
With 5 minutes to go in Q3, Lewis Hamilton was on a flying lap.
Are you okay?
He went off at turn 8 thanks to a blowout that speared him violently into the tyre wall.
And
round already.
catching Hamilton
the
out.
barriers.
And no chance to stop his car, and a massive cheer from the grandstands as Lewis Hamilton goes into the tyre barriers and out of qualifying.
Okay, Lewis, let us know if you're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay, guys.
He carried so much speed in there. I drew breath as he tipped it in there, look, and the back end just won't live with it.
We've
That
seen
would have caught him out. That would have surprised him big time.